Hello from South Carolina and welcome to Drones and SC. Today we're going to talk about the new Yuneec Q500 4K version. Now the Q500 4K from Yuneec is their latest model that includes a CG03 camera capable of recording up to 4K resolution. In this package it also includes a hard case, a couple of batteries, a charger, and a Steadicam. So let's open it up and take a look. Alright, so these are some of the things that come with the Yuneec Q500 4K package. Now, I'll talk a little bit in detail about some of these items, but right now let's just do a quick overview. So first of all, you get the Yuneec Typhoon Q500 4K model with the Gimbal 4K camera. You get a protective guard to transport the camera when you pack it up. You get the ST10 with the integrated 5.5-inch Android tablet controller. Along with that you have a sunscreen and a neck strap. This guy is really cool. This is a Steadicam or a Steady Grip, and this just detaches. You push one button and pull out one cable, pull it out, slide it in right here, pop in your cell phone, mobile device, and now you have a gimbal handheld camera. You of course get AC and DC powered options for a battery charger. You also get a USB charger for the ST10 controller. You do get another set of props, replacement props. You've got a whole bag of accessories. This is a replacement UV filter and lens cloth for the camera. This is a tool to help you take off and put on the props. And in here you have a SD card adapter with a micro SD card, and preloaded on here is a manual, a quick start guide, a cheat sheet, an unboxing video, a video that covers new features of the Q500 4K, and some quick start videos. You have some spare parts. You have a USB serial interface so you can access the flight controller with your computer and change some programming. And then finally, you've got keys to the box that comes with this. And I'll show you that really quick. The hard case, Yuneec Q500, very attractive and sturdy case. You have padding on the top, and it's in foam in the bottom. Of course, you also get some good documentation. You have a quick start guide. You have a manual for the Steady Grip. You have some information about flying safely with the Know Before You Fly campaign. You have a guide to what the status lights mean. Some warnings. Here you also have the contents of the box listed here, as well as a set of spare propellers. Oh, and I almost forgot, you've got your, comes with two 5400 milliamp hour 3S batteries. Okay, I'm going to show you real quick how to take the camera off of the Q500 and put it on your Steadicam or your Steady Grip. So all you have to do is disconnect this one cable right here. Push up on this little lock right here and slide your camera out. There's your camera. I'll go ahead and set this to the side. Get your Steadicam and you just slide it in. It's locked in place. push your cable in. And there you go. Go ahead and turn the unit on. Get your Wi-Fi on your mobile device. Got it set. I'm going to go ahead and load my CGO3 app and put it in place. There we go. I've got full control, and I've got the same camera options, and I'll go over those with you with my other device. Alright, so I'm going to show you the CGO3 app. Now you'll have similar controls with the ST10 controller, but right now I'm going to give you a screenshot of my mobile device and what it looks like to use the Steadicam. So you have some white balance controls, sunrise, sunset, incandescent, fluorescent, cloudy, sunny. And you can go to auto white balance, and then when it's set the way you like it, you can hit lock and it will lock your white balance. We're in auto exposure right now. Now I can do exposure correction. Or I could go to manual mode and I can adjust my ISO up to 6400, that's very overexposed. I can go down to 100. So you have nice manual control there. Put it back in auto. That should be pretty good. On here we also have control over our video resolution options. Right now I'm in 4K, which is 3840 by 2160, 30 frames a second. I can also do that at 25 or 24 frames a second. I could do 4096 by 2160 at 25 or 24 frames a second. You can see these other options here. Now the really exciting option that we have is 1920 by 1080 at 120 frames per second. So that will lend itself quite well to slow motion video, which is really cool, especially when you're using the Steadicam, the handheld camera. You could do some really cool shots with that. And that's a great option. Same thing with 1280 by 720 at 60 frames a second. That's pretty good also. But I really like that 1920 by 1080 at 120 frames a second. That could be a lot of fun. As far as your photos, you can save this as a DNG or JPEG file. If you do, you can do the DNG and RAW file, and if you have the capability to edit RAW files, you can do a lot of post-processing and pull out some cool details with that. If you're doing JPEGs, you can also set some color modes like natural, gorgeous, raw, or night. Now here's a little demonstration of the gimbal in action. I've got the CGO3 on the Q500, and I'm using one of the older CGO2s and the steady grip on the ground. And as you can see, the gimbal is really excellent on this unit. It works fabulously.
Okay, this is the ST10 Plus controller, which is an upgrade from the original ST10. It's got a better screen and a larger screen. This one's got a 5.5-inch display, whereas the original Q500 had the 4.5-inch display. If you haven't seen my original Q500 video, then please take a look at that. I'll include the link here, and that explains a lot more about the controller in depth. I'll just do a brief overview here and talk about some differences. First of all, you do have telemetry on the screen, and this will be displayed even if you lose video. This shows what mode you're in, whether GPS is available or not, how many satellites you're seeing. I'm in the house right now seeing 14 satellites coming in and out. This is your position, battery voltage for the Q500, your altitude, ground speed, your distance, and then here on the top, this is how many satellites your ST10 Plus sees. So the ST10 Plus also has a GPS in it, and that's what allows you to do the smart mode and the watch me and look at me modes. Graphical representation of your signal, and battery indicator for the ST10 itself. Now, also, as I mentioned or showed you earlier, you do have access to the camera controls here, and they're exactly the same as they are in our previous little video section where we were using the Steadicam. Additionally, if you hit this icon here, you can get to the same settings that you could get to on the Steady Grip, but you can also turn GPS on and off for the Q500, and you can activate compass and accelerometer cowls, which is nice. With the previous Q500, you had, for the accelerometer cowl, you had to hook up the GUI, and for the compass cowl, you had to flip some switches in order to enable that. So that makes it a lot easier. Also, if you double tap on the screen, you'll get a full FPV screen. And again, you can access your various system settings, which again, I went into detail on that on the previous Q500 video. So if you need to know more about that, then take a look at that video. Also, this icon up here, this is the Watch Me icon. If you're in smart mode and you hit this, if adequate GPS is available, that will turn green and turn on the Watch Me mode. And if it's red, the Watch Me mode is off, and you're just in the straight Follow Me mode. So the difference is, with Follow Me, the quad will be oriented towards you, but if you move the quad to the left or right, it's not going to keep you center frame. With the Watch Me mode, you can, for instance, hold full right on the roll, and it will do a complete circle around you, kind of like a smart circle. Additionally, what else do we have on here? Let's talk about the controller itself. So on the top here, you have the start-stop buttons for the motors. You have the shutter button to take pictures. You have the video start and stop button. You have the modes, which is smart, angle, and home, return to home. And the neat thing on this controller are these proportional rate sliders, so you can go from turtle to fast, and that just controls the speed of the quadcopter. And then on this side, you have gimbal control to make the gimbal go. Final thing that this controller has that I really like is you can put in an SD card in the controller, and you can access that SD card either by removing it or by hooking up to this USB port. But whenever you fly with that SD card in there, it stores two things. It stores telemetry from your flight in a CSV file, which is a comma separated values, like tabular format. You can usually open those with a text reader or with an Excel spreadsheet. And it also records a low-res version of whatever you are recording with your camera. So two cool things about that. One is that you can use a free program called Dashware to generate instrument overlays on your video if you want to do that, and I'll show you a demo of that right after this section. And also you can use that FPV file for maybe something happened to your quadcopter, maybe a bird hit it, or heaven forbid, somebody shot it out of the sky. You can use both your telemetry and your FPV file to have a record of that, to know when and where it was, if anything happens. So that's really cool. So let's take a look at what a Dashware overlay looks like.
Alright, so if you're watching this video, you're probably considering getting a 4K capable quadcopter. There's obviously several out there with differing capabilities and different price ranges. Probably the most comparable unit to the Q500 4K would be the Phantom P3 Pro. Now, I actually have both of those quadcopters and a bunch of other ones, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages. Now, since this video is about the Yuneec Q500 4K, I'm going to discuss what you may consider advantages compared to the Phantom 3 Pro, since that's probably the most popular and most common comparable quadcopter. So, first of all, controllers. So with the P3 controller, you have to provide your own mobile device, and you've got this little cable here. And with the Q500, the Android device is built into it, so it's a little bit cleaner. Additionally, though, something that you have to consider is a lot of people have been having problems with force closing their apps on the DJI P3, and it's just there's so many different mobile devices out there. It's hard to get them to work all properly. So with the Q500, I've never had the app crash, not a single time. With the P3, it doesn't. I've used several mobile devices. If I fly more than 10 minutes, the app's probably going to crash and I'm going to have to reboot it. And that's just something that you have to deal with that. So hopefully it gets better. But that is definitely an advantage with the Q500. It uses their platform, their built-in Android device, so it's fully compatible. You don't have to worry about app crashes. Another thing that I personally find advantageous is the batteries. So the P3 is a smart battery. That means that it's got all kinds of electronics in here to prevent overcharging or discharging or charging it when it's too hot. And yeah, those are really cool features, but the problem is every one of these batteries that you buy, you're paying for this extra circuitry. With the excuse me, with the Q500 battery, it's a standard battery. The electronics that you use are built into a charger, which you have to buy once. And it actually includes a charger, but I use smart chargers. But you only have to buy this once. With a smart battery, you're buying that same circuitry every time you buy a battery. It would be better if there was some way that you could remove the circuitry and put it into a new battery when you buy it when this one goes bad, but I'm not aware of anyone that's done that. So I really hate smart batteries. I like to be able to charge my batteries with a smart charger. I've got a bunch of them, and I don't have to have any proprietary chargers. They work on everything I have. So that's an advantage. Another advantage would be this guy right here, the Steadicam. So what's really cool with the Steadicam is you take the camera off of the Q500 and put it on here. So if you're making multimedia video and you want to do some ground shots and some aerial shots, it's gonna all come from the same camera, which makes your editing and post-processing so much easier. And it's really awesome. It's a good device. And you can see I'm going to share a video at the end here from our first day of flying where we did some footage with this and the Q500, and they integrated seamlessly, and I think the final result is really good. What other advantages do we have? Oh, there's a big one. Customer service. So I do own DJI products, and I mean I like my Phantom P3, but DJI has atrocious customer service. So if you do go the DJI route, definitely buy it from a dealer, because that's the only place you're going to get support. You're not going to get any support from the manufacturer. All right, back to the controller again. With this, with the Q500 controller, it actually has a fan built into it to keep this, the electronics and the Android tablet within it cool. With the Phantom P3, especially in the summer months, a lot of users report excessively slow video, choppiness, and app crashing due to overheating of the tablet. It's not a problem with this. It's always cool. This fan is always running. Another one is ease of use. So the P3 is definitely easy to fly, but the Q500 is a little bit easier. I did a news interview with a reporter back in the spring, and I had no problem handing this controller, actually it was the ST10, the earlier version, to the reporter, and he flew immediately. I would be a little more apprehensive to do that with the P3. Another neat thing on here is this proportional rate slider switch that goes from turtle to rabbit, so you can control the responsiveness and how fast the quad moves. So if you're giving it to a newbie, you can turn it down and they can barely move the thing. With the P3, you have that same capability, but you have to access it. You have to access expo curves through the app, and it's several button presses, and it takes a long time. This is instant. I like that. More advantages that I like about the Q500 compared to the P3, and again, all of these can be considered advantages or disadvantages. It's up to your preference, really. So it can go either way.
Like for instance, if I'm going to go hiking somewhere remote, I'm probably not going to take the Q500 with me. It's big. I have a backpack for the P3 and it travels really well. On the other hand though, if I'm at a fixed location or I'm driving somewhere to film, the Q500 is so much larger and more visible in the air than the P3. So it's much easier to see, and the other advantage is so much more quieter. If I need to film somewhere where it's a sensitive area, I don't want to bother anyone, or I don't want to make a lot of noise, the Q500 is definitely the way to go. So if you ever fly your Q500 with someone who's only flown a Phantom 3, the very first thing they're going to say is, wow, this thing is super quiet. And if you're coming from a Phantom, or you have both, you'll realize it too. The Q500 really is quiet. It's got those huge rotor blades on it, and they spin a little bit slower than the tiny blades on the P3, so it doesn't make as much noise. So all in all, there are definite advantages to all the different platforms out there, but keep this in mind when you're thinking about the Q500 4K. Thanks for watching our video on the Yuneec Q500 4K. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, if you're new to the Q500, then check out our link here, which is on the original Q500. The equipment is very similar, and on this video I discuss a lot of tips and tricks that apply to all the Q500s, like programming the flight controller, how to use the graphical user interface, how to change your Wi-Fi password on the camera, and a bunch of other tricks that you might find handy. So without further ado, I'm going to leave you with this video of our first day of flying with the Yuneec Q500 and with using the Steady Grip. I hope you enjoy.